Alright, a short show today where just a lot of things haven't happened already, but we have potential superstars on the move. And as we have Juice, which is obviously the nickname for Kyle Juszczyk, who's the terrific fullback for the 49ers, and he's a big part because he's 80% in their scheme. They use him as tight end, as a running back, they do all these kinds of things with him. So they want to keep him, and they said they're going to do everything in their power to keep him. And I think they should, because he's a very valuable asset. He's probably the best fullback in the league. Keep him. But then we have J.J. Watt thinking about Cleveland might be his next destination. He likes what they have over there. I have him either, like, obviously Cleveland would be on my list, but the next places he could look would be Pittsburgh, because his brothers play in Pittsburgh. Baltimore, because he could be near his brothers. Dallas, because they need defensive line help. Miami, because they're already stacked. If they bring in J.J. Watt, that would be an incredible defensive line. And San Francisco, because he's got Nick Bosa on the other side. They said Dallas was not interested, which is a shame if you're a Cowboys fan like I am. Then there was people saying that the Bears are leaders to take Carson Wentz. I'm like, well, they've said this because they said the Eagles said they wanted to trade as big as Matt Stafford's, and it's not possible. Wentz is not as good. He's not as smart, and he hasn't played as. We're not saying he's not as smart, but Stafford's played longer and played more successful. I think Stafford's trade makes sense. It was what he was valued for, 3 number ones essentially. But Wentz is not going to get that. It's just going to be, the Eagles are trying to go fish for bait a little bit. They said a lot of teams are interested when really probably no team was interested. They said no teams were interested, and that was just what happened. But what ended up happening, no team was piqued his interest, and probably they have to pay him 3 days after the league year. So they're probably going to say, well, we're going to have to take it. There's no choice. Ertz is most likely going to get cut or traded, released or traded, because I think he's not a terrible player. I think this year he had a terrible year, but he was not a terrible player. He was terrible during his contract year because he was never paid, and I think that kept getting onto his mind. Was, oh my gosh, I gotta catch this ball because I'm not gonna get paid, and that you just start screwing yourself over a little bit. And then K'Wan Short, the 2-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle for the Carolina Panthers, was released, or is being released as we speak. And they're doing it for cap room, and I understand that because a lot of really people who are in this free agent class, in my opinion, are going to get contracts that haven't been really possible. $20 million guys are going to be fine. $3 million guys are going to be fine. But it's that middle, that Mike Fisher was calling it a suppressed middle. And I agree with that because I think every contract is going to be smaller. I think if you're an $8 million guy, you're going to be going for $4 million. If you're a $4 million, $2 million, and so on and so forth. I think that's just what's going to happen because it's not possible. However, where there's going to be so many players that don't make the league because they just don't have the money. But what do you guys think? Where should J.J. Watt go? And where should Carson Wentz be traded to? I'm Jacob Hewitt.